All right. The next section on this set of notes says real world measurements. What I want to do here is use a protractor, draw out a triangle with a known angle, and then I want to measure the lengths of the triangle and use that to compute the sine and cosine of that angle. That should give us numbers that are close to what the calculator gives us. I say close because measurements are inherently going to have a little bit of error in them. So let's do that. I've got my protractor here. Right now it's set on 90. And what that tells us is that's the angle between from here and here, between those two lines. So let's set it to something, say, let's set it to 50, no, let's do 55 degrees. I'm just picking a random angle. I guess it's not that random, but I'm picking just some angle, doesn't matter. All right, so that's 55 degrees. Now I'm going to draw in the line here, and this is going to give me a triangle here on the corner of this piece of wood. And what I know is this angle here is 55 degrees. Now what I want to do is take my caliper and measure this thing. So let's do that. I'm going to try to do this with one hand on the camera and one on the caliper. So if I measure it, let's see, this is looks about right. So that's 1.184. So with this angle 55 degrees, that is the side we measured is the adjacent. So 1.184. All right, now let's measure the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse, I apologize for the bad camera work here. The hypotenuse is here, and it looks like the hypotenuse is 2.039. 2.039. And the adjacent side, let's see. The adjacent side is 1.661. I'm sorry, that's not the adjacent side, that's the opposite side. All right. So I've got these measurements here, and the angle we had was 55 degrees. Yeah, there, it'll focus at some point. So according to this, if my measurements are any good, sine of 55 degrees should be opposite over hypotenuse. So let's see what that is. 1.661 divided by 2.039 gives me 0.8146. So that's measured. All right, let's compare that to the sine of 55 degrees on according to the calculator. So 55, get all this in frame. So 55, and if I hit the sine key, 0.8191. So not bad. It's I mean, obviously my measurements weren't great, but this is pretty close to the 0.8146 that we got from measuring. The reason I wanted to do this was just to show you that really all that sines and cosines are is just the ratios of the sides on a right triangle. Now, I'm using a calculator here to come up with the sine. Before people had easy access to calculators, they would use sine and cosine charts, or big listings of the values of sine and cosine for the different degrees. So anyway, I just wanted to do this as kind of a little experiment. That's it for this video.